Electricity. It lights up our lives, heats our homes, runs our appliances, and in some cases, even powers our cars. It's the quickest, most convenient energy source we know today. But it can also be deadly when it's not used with caution. Electricity. It can be dangerous. A healthy respect for electricity begins with a basic understanding of how it gets to the consumer, its potential for harm, and the safest ways to use it. Electricity starts at generating plants. It's distributed through high-tension wires that carry as much as 345,000 volts of electricity on towers like these that we all see every day. The voltage in these power lines is too high for use in our homes and businesses, so it's fed to substations that lower the voltage. Next, it's routed to communities through primary distribution lines on poles like these. What you might not know about these poles is that the National Electrical Safety Code dictates that the highest voltage lines or primaries must be on top, and the lowest voltage, usually communications lines, at the bottom. Still, even communications lines can be dangerous if a power line has fallen on and energized them. Primary lines carry far more voltage than is necessary for consumer use. So this power is broken down further and routed through secondary lines on the same poles. These lines are not insulated like household wiring. The material covering the wire prolongs the wire's life but has no insulating qualities. That's why both primary and secondary lines use insulators to prevent electricity from running from the pole to the ground. Transformers are used to tailor electricity to usable levels, which is then transferred to consumers through lines called service drops, meters on our homes and businesses, and finally to the wiring, switches, outlets, and fixtures we all use daily. Imagine if the average 60-watt light bulb rated at 120 volts is enough to stop your heart, what would 250, 440, or 44,000 volts do to the human body? Harnessed lightning? It sure can look like it. But with the right equipment, training, and protection, even electricity can be handled properly and safely, as only DTE Energy is equipped to do. Wires that look harmless can be deadly deceiving. Never touch or allow anyone to touch downed wires of any kind or anything that the wires are touching. Only DTE Energy has the knowledge, experience, and equipment to determine if they are live and how to properly handle them. Equipment is especially important. DTE uses specialized protective equipment like rubber boots and gloves, as well as rubber sleeves and hot sticks. All are specially designed to handle electricity, checked and tested often, and replaced regularly. Hard hats and helmets have dielectric values that protect the wearer from shock, but even these have their limits. The liner, especially if sweat-soaked, can be deadly. Firefighters' boots seem like the ideal protection for dealing with electrical hazards. They even have dielectric values that, when new, afford good electrical protection. But dielectric values disappear as equipment gets older and worn. Even the smallest hole in this kind of boot is all it takes. Imagine if that's what could happen with rubber firefighters' boots, what would happen with everyday work boots like these? Remember, almost anything has potential for conductivity. A simple rope, a branch, or even kite string can be dangerous if wet. Even carbon buildup will conduct electricity. Downed wires that are energized may not necessarily arc, but they can charge the ground around them. Areas of the ground that are charged by downed wires carry what is called a step potential. Step potential is an electrical charge that may feel like a kick in the pants when one foot leaves the ground while walking. Since the electrical charge in the ground dissipates with distance, a minimal safe distance from any pole-to-pole wire is 20 feet. Remember, you really can't tell the difference between an energized wire and one that is not. For example, suppose people are trapped in a car that's energized by a downed wire. Remember, stay at least 20 feet away from the vehicle. Encourage them to remain in the car and stay calm. If they must leave the car, they must not touch the car and the ground at the same time. If they do, they could be electrocuted as their bodies will become circuits for electricity to reach the ground. Have each person put both feet on the door frame and jump a short distance clear of the car. Using this method allows them to escape safely. Once they are out of the car, remember the step potential. Have them carefully bunny hop with feet together or shuffle until they are more than 20 feet away from the car. As you can see, the power of electricity is remarkable, but its flow is very interesting as well. Electricity travels to ground in the path of least resistance, just like water. That path could be a ladder, a fence, a branch, or the human body under the right circumstances, and with potentially deadly consequences. Firefighters especially need to protect themselves. As mentioned earlier, equipment is a critical consideration for the safe handling of electricity. Unfortunately, as good as firefighting equipment might be, it is just that, firefighting equipment, and not necessarily up to the critical demands of electric safety standards. At DTE Energy, equipment is tested regularly, worn or stressed equipment discarded, and dielectric properties held to rigid standards. Firefighting equipment also has dielectric properties, but it dissipates over time, leaving personnel unknowingly vulnerable. Pike poles should never be used to move electrical hazards. They are not intended for this purpose and can become a deadly circuit to ground through the person holding the pole. There are other hazards that emergency personnel need to be constantly aware of as well, like keeping ladders and lifts well away from all wires, being aware of potential electrical conductors like aluminum gutters and siding that are near service drop lines, and the fact that downed lines don't dissipate energy at the point of contact with the ground, but rather radiate energy like the ripples on a pond, creating the step potential mentioned earlier. Usually, the first order of business at a structural fire is to disconnect all utilities. The safest way to do this is to wait for a DTE line crew to arrive at the scene. Do not pull the meter as it may be dangerous. It may not even disconnect power to the home. A fire can cause the line going into the home to melt away and fall to the ground, or the panel box and meter can melt under extreme heat. That's why we ask you to contact DTE Energy immediately to have a line crew de-energize the line to the residents. And always remember to stay at least 20 feet away from any power line. When electricity needs to be cut to a commercial building, your dispatcher should contact DTE immediately. This is best done by going to DTE's website at dteenergy.com, clicking on Police/Fire in the lower left-hand corner, then entering your department's PIN. Using this website allows your dispatcher to make direct contact with our outage analysis system, which quickly gets a DTE Energy crew to your location. If your department is not equipped to make contact through the website, please contact DTE at 800-477-4747. Do not pull commercial electric meters under any circumstances. It could cause an electrical flash, or you could be electrocuted. We consider a commercial service location anywhere other than a residence. Keep in mind, electricity and water do not mix. Never spray water on electrical wires. Spraying the fire resulting from an electrical hazard may be acceptable if the wires themselves can be avoided or are de-energized. Substation fires, pole fires, and underground cable fires should be cordoned off and left alone until DTE Energy arrives and clears the hazard. Never enter a smoking substation or manhole. Once a power shutdown is accomplished, normal firefighting measures may be used. Downed wires also present situations that need special handling. Whether contacting fences or other objects, they should be barricaded to prevent the curious from contact. DTE Energy should be called to handle the situation, and everyone should be urged to stay at least 20 feet away. Never try to move down wires yourself. Your gear, no matter how good, is not made for these purposes. DTE Energy's is. Thank you for taking the time to view this program. Injury and even death can occur by underestimating the power and path of electricity. Like any energy source, electricity has a greater potential for good than for bad, and we all need to have a healthy respect for it, used properly and with care. Electricity makes our lives easier, more productive, and more comfortable. Stay safe. We count on you for our safety. You can count on DTE Energy for your electric safety. This video is a dramatization of what could go wrong with electricity and the equipment that delivers it. The participants in this video are not responsible for any improper processes or misuse of any DTE Energy equipment or property.